Hello everyone, this is Nimish. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to speak about 5 Mammootty movies that no Malayali wants you to watch, not even Mammootty's fans themselves. Okay, maybe some fans want you to watch it, but in general, for the most part, nobody wants you to watch these movies. So we are going to check out this list. Now, Mammootty has done 200 plus, I think close to 300 movies in his lifetime. So there is not going to be a possibility of just picking out 5. So I want you guys to leave your comments below and tell me what other movies you guys don't want anyone to watch. And I'm talking about the Malayalis here or anyone who's seen Mammootty movies. If you didn't like a movie, leave your comment below and maybe we can have a part 2 of this video, a part 3, a part 4, a part 5, however long the list goes. But for now, let's check out the 5 movies that I actually ended up watching, which you guys didn't want me to watch. And let's begin with one of the most anticipated movies that ended up being a disaster. The first one on this list is Putin Panem. This movie was supposed to be about demonetization. It was supposed to be a stylish, dramatic thriller when the promos came out, and they were so good that people had very high expectations. However, when the trailer came out, everyone got a little discomforted because nobody understood the Kasaragod Malayali accent that was kind of used there, and I think it was the Kasaragod accent. And that is the number one thing about this movie that irritated the audience. They could not get a hold of it, even the Malayalis themselves I'm talking about. Because for me, I watched it with subtitles, so it's a different experience. But for Malayalis themselves, they couldn't get a hold of what was going on. It was an irritating accent. They couldn't bear it. They were getting annoyed. And that was half the battle lost right there. Secondly, this movie was marketed as a demonetization-based movie, which means that the audience expected more information about demonetization, some realistic situations, some good drama around the politics of everything and the business of everything. However, there was nothing about demonetization in this movie. Like literally, the movie starts with the news of demonetization and then you don't hear about demonetization for the rest of the movie. So basically that led to a huge disappointment in what people expected. So it's kind of an expectations versus reality meme that happened with this movie. Thirdly, this movie, I think, personal opinion, has a very Tamil movie feel to it. Apart from having a couple of Tamil characters in there, it does have in general the direction and the editing style of this movie, and even the locations have a very Tamil movie feel to it, and therefore it probably didn't gel well with the Malayalis in terms of how the movie was presented, and therefore, you know, that added on to the first 2 points and made it a movie that was not at all an enjoyable experiences. Lastly, Mamukoya, who is a very, very funny man, and I loved his performance in all movies, and even in this one, I think he brought a life to this movie in general. But his jokes kind of fell flat, and so if the humor falls flat and you know things are not working out very well in the comic area and you have comedy in there, then again it just doesn't work. So those are the reasons why I think Putin Panem did not work. However, I must say that I personally, because I don't really care about the accent used, because you know I'm just reading out the subtitles and I enjoy all kinds of cinema, and I thought this movie was quite entertaining to watch, because for me I didn't have any expectations of sort, and I knew that this movie kind of tanked and was a disaster, and I still ended up watching it one day and I thought, well, it's not that bad, like it's okay. But yeah, that's what I think of the movie, and I know that everyone's going to disagree. Now let's move on to the second one. The second movie on this list is Thopil Jopan. People killed me for this when I tweeted that I actually liked this movie. They were like, how? Why? Because I thought this movie was entertaining. I thought that the whole story about a character who is lost in love and who kind of connects with a young girl, and then he goes back to his lover from the old days and kind of goes behind her. He's 50% alcohol, 50% love. I felt all that was very entertaining and that Mammootty did a very, very good job. However, I totally understand why this movie failed, because first of all, there was nothing new in it. There might have been 100 Malayalam movies like this that just, you know, have the same kind of story, same presentation, same humor, same characterization, same locations, which were more new to me because I was obviously not born and brought up watching Malayalam movies. So for me it was still new, but for the Malayalis, nothing about this movie was new. It was just old wine in a new bottle, or actually old wine in an old bottle, just presented and felt like a re-release of 1,000 other movies, and therefore this movie just did not go well with the Malayalis. However, again, like Putin Panem, for me this movie was actually an enjoyable experience, and based on quite a few movies that I have watched, this is high up there as a very breezy, entertaining movie for me personally. And I know y'all are going to kill me for this again. So before that, let's go on to the third one. The third movie on this list is White. I honestly have nothing to say about this movie because I have actually not watched this movie, but I feel like no one has watched this movie because no one has an opinion. It just comes right up there when you say, you know, bad Mammootty movies, White. Like, you know, it felt like people either didn't watch it or like 10 people watched it and just trashed it so badly early in the morning on a Friday morning that just ended up coming down on Friday evening. Just sank without a trace. There was nothing new about it, nothing interesting about it. Even the promos weren't that great and it just didn't work well. Although it had Huma Qureshi, it felt like it could have, you know, had a kind of national feel to it in terms of movie making, but I guess it just didn't work. And I guess people also have a major complaint that Mammootty should start playing his age, although he looks younger than ever. But still, people usually want to see him in more mature roles that are kind of different rather than playing a middle-aged man who's kind of romantic and things like that. So that's probably the reason why it didn't work. Before I move on to the next two movies, as I said, if you guys like this video and you want more such videos of other actors or other movies, press the like button so I know you guys are liking this video so I can put more videos, and also comment about those movies and those stars whose lists you guys want to see. It doesn't have to be just the worst list, it can also be the best list, and definitely let me know what you guys think. So now let's move on to the fourth movie, which is actually one of my favorite Mammootty movies. It's called Drona 2010. Now before you guys give me shit, first of all, I like horror and I have liked the worst horror movies ever that have been disasters. And you know, for me, watching a Malayali horror movie for the first time, it was a very unique experience. You know, it was something that I've not seen before. I have not seen those kind of locations, that kind of presentations in movies. So for me, that was very, very unique, especially, or rather I should say, only the first half. It was just entertaining. I was just sitting and watching and not moving from my screen because it was that gripping a tale. However, when the second half started, there was a lot of commercial elements thrown in there, a lot of action sequences thrown in there, a lot of over-the-top acting by the supporting cast, you know, stereotypical characters and family kind of, you know, vamps and things like that. It just wasn't going well in the second half. However, I feel like the ending twists were very good. It was very pretty, you know, intelligent. I thought it was different. I didn't expect it. And I didn't expect it because I didn't know this movie was going to have any twists. So for me, that was a surprise. And so at the end, there are a couple of very interesting twists. If you even sat in this movie till the end to watch what happens. But the Malayalis again hated it because I think they said that there are so many horror movies presented this way in the past, so many movies presented this way. The characterizations were not unique enough, Mammootty's stardom was not good enough, and it just didn't work out for them again. The last movie on this list, which is again a big surprise for me, is called Manglish. I watched this movie the other day and I sat through it right till the ending Dulquer Salman's song. Like, I was literally just enjoying the whole movie, and of course it had a very bad first 15 minutes. It was like, I was like, oh my god, this movie is going nowhere, I don't know what to do. But then it caught pace when the foreign character came in, the foreigner came in, and her issues started coming up and how Mammootty started helping her. And it just had some beautiful photography in there. I thought some good camera work, unique angles that I was noticing, and it just went with the flow. It was a breezy entertainer. I'm not saying this is a very good movie, or I'm not saying this is a good content or something like that, but I just felt like sitting and watching it on a Sunday evening, and I didn't mind it at all. It was refreshing, it was rejuvenating, and it was nice to see such a different kind of movie done by Mammootty. Although there was zero characterization, there was zero depth of characters and content in this movie, and again towards the end it becomes the most typical star-driven movie that has no sense except that the main hero comes and hits 100 guys, and that probably brings about a lot of whistles and claps in the theater. So it was definitely a star-based movie, like most of the other ones were also, but it didn't work out at all because people were probably tired of seeing it. Now, I know that these 5 movies are definitely, probably some of them are not even on your list, and you guys have a lot of other movies, and there might be even, you know, the recent ones like Streetlights or some older ones that I have not watched. So definitely leave your comments, tell me what those movies are. We can go and make a part 2 about this, we can make a part 3 about this, we can also make the top 5 Mammootty movies that Malayalis actually want you to watch. And as you have been following my channel, for those of you who have, you guys will know that I have actually fully reviewed movies like Munariyappu, Paladi Manikyam, etc. Many Mammootty movies. And so if you want me to review any of these movies in detail, again, I wouldn't know unless you leave the comment below. So definitely do that. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I hope you like this video. Have fun for the rest of your day and take care.